Hey everyone, Gojin750 here. Welcome back to episode 3 on our 1.18 SMP. As you can see below me, we've got our slime farm finished up. You know, it looks pretty good, and I've decided to keep this little window up here just so we can look down and see if anything ever pops up anytime soon. Wasn't recording, but there was some slimes that were popping up, coming over and fighting our golems. But we know that it's actually working fairly good, because look at all the slime that we've got so far, and that's not from much AFKing at all. Plus, interestingly enough, it seems like we're getting some glow ink, and I think that's from the squids that might be spawning from the water stream in the back over there. Alright, so our agenda for today is we're going to be working on building this up here. So I have gathered materials for it. This is the gradient that we're going to use. We're going to start off with a nice deep slate bottom, put some tuff on there on the next layer, and then a lot of diorite, then calcite, then some white concrete, white wool, and then snow blocks for the top. Similar to kind of what we have going here, but a lot larger scale. And some of the off-white colors that I might use some of this inside of the diorite areas. some bone block maybe in there with some of the white concrete powder, or white concrete as well as some white concrete powder here as well. Once we're done building up that, somebody's been over here. Somebody's been over here messing with my stuff. I'm gonna have to undo that. But as I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and dig out this thing down. And I've already started kind of doing that, and I'm letting the ice kind of freeze over all of this right here to make it easier to dig down. But if you look here, I've got this ring here, well, part of a ring here, and this kind of represents some of the area that's going to be underneath. So all the underground, I went ahead and just kind of outlined some of it so that I'll know what areas that I have to build with up here. A lot of this is going to be connecting from underground to above ground. And so I want to be able to build some buildings and farms and stuff in this area here, making sure that there's no overlap between these underground tunnels that's going to be existing and the buildings up above. We're going to be connecting those through little, I don't know, access shafts. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. As you can see, this is the space that I outlined that we saw outside. It's quite a large area, but this is just the inner ring here. This is the outside of the tunnels, and that's the outer ring for the underground and that part. The outer ring total will probably go a little bit closer towards that, but that's what I've got so far. All right. Let me go ahead and gather up my materials, and I should mostly just need the calcite and the diorite and not really anything else. So let me get rid of that. Wool, snow, bone meal, grab more diorite. And let's get started. Let's go. Alright, so as you can see, I went ahead and finished the bottom part of the base, or I guess the middle of the base, because there's a bunch that's going to be underground. But I finished this part of the base here, and it's actually looking pretty good. I kind of like it. What I'm thinking about doing, though, is, if you notice here on my gradient, I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whites, and I've got a lot of space to go, and I've only gone through 3. Well, I've already gone through 2 of those whites, and I know I am going to do from probably about there up to about here, at least, in wool. So all of that should be wool. That means everything from here down will be concrete, and that's a lot of concrete. So I think what I'm going to do is bring the diorite up to probably right around here in little spots, and start really bringing this calcite up maybe closer to here, maybe about halfway up this one, and then do this concrete powder or concrete mix up as I go higher. And then here I could actually just, instead of concrete, do concrete powder, because I really do like the concrete powder. I really do like the concrete powder with the calcite. When I was building it in there, it was looking really good, and I really like that. So I might actually take out all of that concrete there and switch it up for concrete powder, and change this to a 6 layers of the gradient. Yeah, six layers of gradient using the concrete powder, and bring this on up. I'll throw in some birch logs into the diorite here and there, just kind of sprinkle them in, and maybe add in some bone block in with the wool or concrete. We'll see. But now that we have that done and kind of set up there, I should figure out what I'm going to do for a front door on this thing. I haven't decided where I want the front door, either on that side or in the middle right here. Maybe we'll just dig it out right here. I do need to fix this part, this stuff here. Gotta fix that. And when I get a piece of diorite, I guess I'll fix that all the way down. That was not the right spot for that. That goes right there. You know what? Let's just dig out a door here or something. I don't know exactly how I want to do this door yet, and that's kind of a problem. I really should figure that out. But I figure maybe 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide, because it's odd. Maybe something like this. And honestly, I don't want to include these in the door. I want to make actually a level that, like, kind of a walk up, and then it comes down. So obviously that means that this is going to have to go up a lot higher. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like this, and just to give myself some room to work in with this thing. But I think what I'm going to do now, I've really been wanting a proper pumpkin and melon farm. And I think that since I know where this is, and I know where the outer ring is, I can go ahead and just start throwing those in here. So what I think I'm going to do is trace out some space for a proper pumpkin and melon farm, and throw one of those in here. And yeah, I think that'll be my next thing to do. So I'm going to do a tiny bit of resource gathering to get what I need. And then we'll have ourselves a pumpkin and melon farm. Let's go. Alright, as you can see, we've got our little pumpkin and melon farm that's kind of going. It's not very big, but it's doing the job. Once I had this build, I decided to go ahead and move up the diorite. So you can see I brought it up a little bit. And then I went ahead and changed out this whole little thing, as much as I could of it anyway, to what the gradient's actually going to be. So I've got the concrete here. This dirt's supposed to be wool. Then I've got my snow blocks up there. I'll bring the snow blocks down a little bit more. Not so much wool. But yeah, that's how it's going to look. And something I noticed that was really cool while I was up there. Do I have any... So yeah, you can see that there's certain issues with the farm. Like, I haven't put on these sides and stuff, but something that's really cool. Just because of the torch placement, that's the only parts that I've been getting snow on them, which I think is pretty cool. Now, while I was doing all of that, I got this much already. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of stacks of pumpkins and a couple stacks of melons. And let's go trade them with our farmer after I go to sleep. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the bed, and then in the morning, go ahead and trade. Good morning, villagers. How are y'all doing? What the heck? Why is that in there? Why? What? I just saw it. Where did it go? Why? 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 How? How? How did that happen? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so bad if I end up... Oh, sweet. Okay. I was so scared I'd kill the villager. Oh, that was scary. That was scary. Yep, that was scary. Alright, let's go ahead and get to trading off these pumpkins and melons and see how much I can get from what I've got. Alright, so as you can see, we got 27 levels. Traded all the pumpkins and melons that I could, or that I had, and that these villagers were willing to take. Repaired my tools, even enchanted a shovel, got myself a new shovel. Might combine these two swords, they seem pretty good. But you can see I've got glowstone, I've got a bunch of little micro blocks, a bunch of campfire, some redstone, and I still got some emeralds. So, I think that we're gonna kind of call it here after we do this. Let's see if this works. So, sign, statues, and yes. So now I've got my statues book. We're gonna be using these micro blocks for this statue, and I think that is how we call it an episode. You can see, got tower done, pumpkin melon farm done outside, and we had the slime farm downstairs done. I think this has been a pretty productive episode, so I'm going to leave it here. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.